In language learning, the language through literature approach helps the learners in achieving their main aim, which is to improve their knowledge of and proficiency in English. Literacy texts are perceived as resource to stimulate language activities because all of the above. Next. Okay, next. Language which is learned from environment without any explicit teaching is learned from environment is second language. First language, okay. It is learned as first language. First language is what? Language which is learned from environment without any explicit. That's the first time you are learning first language it is. Then here what they have said, language plays an important role. First language is learned from the environment without any explicit teaching. That is a person acquiring knowledge, natural and conscious unconscious process. It is a pleasurable activity and there is no conscious knowledge of grammar and acquiring. Second language is a language that is not the native language of the speaker but is used in the local in the local it is used. Third language refers to non-native language of the learners other than the first and second languages. So local to the person. School language is the school. Then pedagogical grammar means teaching grammar in context. So this is teaching grammar in context. In context, this is called pedagogical grammar. Next. When the teacher quietly observes a student during a collaborative grammar activity, the activity plays a interactive role, diagnostic role. When the teacher quietly observes, here observation is happening, that's why it is diagnostic. So when do we say it is diagnostic? Because have diagnostic role during grammar activity, the teacher quietly observe the student's performance, that's why it is called a diagnostic. Next, when a teacher learns a language naturally without more practice, it is called language adaptation, language learning, language acquisition. Language acquisition. This is acquiring the knowledge, not language. When a child learns language naturally without practice, without much practice, we need not have any practice. That is called acquisition. Acquisition. So acquisition means without any mother tongue is acquired naturally. So mother tongue is what acquires naturally. Okay. Then um a good language textbook should contain a learner centered materials, contain teacher friendly instruction and content related materials, incorporate language skill throughout, have more synthetic syntactical items in the context. A C D, I think. First one, third one, ABC. So when a language textbook should contain learner centered, incorporate learners throughout the skills, use suitable language and age appropriate materials, contain teacher friendly instruction. Instruction should be there. Next, continuous comprehensive evaluation is continuous assessment, continuous testing, continuous assessment of learner while learning, continuous assessment of learners while learning. Okay, next. A language teacher asks learners to write a paragraph on scarcity of water. Learners gather information from science and social science books and other sources while writing. Such tasks aim at developing scientific attitude, completing the syllabus, achieving language learning across the curriculum, co-curricular skills, co-curricular and language learning skills. They will acquire language. Next, a reader uses her Prior knowledge makes semantic cues and syntactic cues, then moves to other, more specific information. What model of reading the reader here adopts? He uses prior knowledge, makes semantic cues and syntactic cues, then moves to the other specific information. Top down model. It is called from the top. See, prior knowledge. Okay, what is top down model? Top down model means in this approach, the learner utilizes the background, like from the top, previous knowledge to figure it out the meaning. Okay, then it is reading to approach, looking at the language and all these things. This is top down. Bottom up means it is a reading approach that focuses on decoding text from sounds to words, interactive model, whole language model. What is the uh, representation of speech sounds? Graphical. Graphical representation of speech sounds.